Gaily bedight, a gallant knight, in sunshine and in shadow, had journeyed long.
What's that all about?
Just a poem, one of Johnny Diamond's favorites. Let's see. Gaily bedight, a gallant knight, in sunshine and in shadow, had journeyed long, singing a song, in search of El Dorado.
Howdy, everyone. Pull up your chair, kick up your boots, take a sip on a nice cold brew. It's El Dorado, the Season 3 episodes of Support Your Local Podcast, where we take a look at the 1966 Western classic El Dorado, one chapter at a time. I'm your host, as always, Robert Smith, coming to you from beautiful Tombstone. Yes, that one. We are officially done with our movie, going through chapter by chapter. I just wanted to do a couple hiatus episodes, kind of stay in your ear holes, kind of keep you guys interested while I'm ironing out things for season 4. Stay tuned for that announcement. Today, something I talked about a couple episodes ago of when I was watching the movie, I couldn't help but think of what a sequel could be to this movie, to El Dorado. And I made the joke of, stay tuned for El Dorado 2, El Doradoer. And so I put that thought in the back of my head and just kind of kept thinking about it. I came up with a little something. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's in the vein of the ending of the Support Your Local Sheriff movie and Support Your Local Gunfighter, for that matter too, where Jack Elam is on the back of a train and he's just going over what happened next after the movie ends. So if you will, kind of envision that scene in the background. You have, the slight music of dun 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 dun. I would play the actual music, but I don't know if I would get a copyright strike for that. It would be silly for me to get in trouble for using some side music from a 1960s Western, but you never know. Everybody's kind of sue happy nowadays. So kind of picture, if you will, that in the background. Well, Cole Thornton. It took 3 days for Cole to finally get JP to admit whether he was joking about the whole kicking him out of town thing. He had his saddles all packed and everything, and, well, they even let him climb up on his horse, which was a dick thing to do, given the bad leg and the bullet still in his back. Though, let's be fair, Cole probably did deserve it. Now that he wasn't being ran off, he did take the time and try and sweet-talk his lady, Maudie, into letting him stay with her. She spent the next few weeks bouncing him all around, and during one of the more enduring sessions, Cole felt his arm go numb once again. A few seconds later, he had one of his spasms, and he didn't think too much of it because, well, he still had that bullet in his back. And Maudie didn't seem to notice too much either because, well, that's the face he makes with those back spasms, and it's very similar to the one he made when he, to steal a phrase about Bull, blow his bugle. Cole died of a massive coronary. He did have the luxury that not most gunfighters have. He did die without his boots on and, his pants and his shirt and his under things, but for whatever reason, he did still have the neckerchief and the hat on. Whatever. Well, J.P. Hara, he remained the sheriff for another 4 terms, and he did not fall back into his drunken ways, and that's mostly because of he's being guided and handled by his now wife, Maudie. Between the control of the town with him as sheriff and Maudie quickly becoming the next controlling business person in town, this financial backing came in handy for when the marshal finally did come back into town. He was on a vengeful path towards JP. Apparently, he remembered all too well the bottle incident, and now that the sheriff had murdered several people and wrongfully imprisoned a notable local businessman without evidence, well, it wasn't looking too good for our sheriff. Fortunately, with a little financial assistance from Maudie and from Bull, the marshal could be convinced to look the other way, and El Dorado lived peacefully and prosperously until the outbreak, of course. Our beloved Maudie. Despite Bull's best efforts to talk her out of it, she does forgive Cole for his fool ways in the Battle of El Dorado with Nelson McLeod and the gang. They live happily for several weeks together, never quite marrying, but still enjoying the practice. After Bart Jason's killed in the Battle of El Dorado, there's a power vacuum left in its wake. Bull takes over the land and various businesses, but works out a deal with Maudie for her to take over the Just Saloon. She quickly keeps her saloon in Baths as a legitimate clean place, while moving all of her working girls to the Just Saloon, now aptly titled the Just Brothel. Having the two main sources of refreshment or entertainment in the town, she is the most powerful person, not just lady, in the entire town. With the bad influences out of town and the sudden loss of her second love, Cole, she was married once, she decides it's time to settle down a bit. She marries her third love, J.P. Hara. And to thank Maria for putting up with J.P. during all of his drunken shenanigans, and partly to make sure she's no threat, Maudie takes Maria and makes the housemaid the night manager at the Just Brothel. She passes at a ripe old age when she catches typhoid fever after offering a wing of her Just Brothel as an emergency medical facility during the outbreak. Mississippi. When Bull becomes the new lead of the Bart Jason gang, and with Cole retiring, JP asks Mississippi to stay on as deputy, which he obliges. After all, he would need the income to help pay for the little ones that he and Josephine had been popping out since the wedding. Speaking of, you should have seen the look on Joey's face when the local preacher told him that they couldn't perform the ceremony because, well, Mississippi was still legally married to Cole. And before they could get all the paperwork settled, Cole passed away, making it somewhat easier. Now a widower, Mississippi was clear to marry once again. But happiness only lasted for a while, though. Much like Mississippi had once done for Johnny Diamond, the two guys that escaped the porch the night of the Battle of El Dorado came looking for revenge. One day, they lured the deputy to the new intersection of roads going out of El Dorado, something they called a causeway. Well, he was shot to death by numerous goons, and there's always rumblings that it was done by the friends of the guys Mississippi killed for revenge of Johnny Diamond, but deep down, they always knew it was the McDonald's all along. There are always rumors that Mississippi may have been fooling around with the smoking girl that helped him the night of the church shootout. She had a son, and the father of which was never known, but he grew up to look just like Andy Garcia, which didn't make any sense. He became a close ally and confidant to Bull, even taking over his empire upon Bull's passing. Speaking of Bull, not all was lost to our beloved Bull. Our conspiracy theorists can rejoice in knowing that while Bull was alone in the jail with Bart Jason, he had concocted a backup plan should all else fail. Bull wanted assurances that while Bart may escape with the plans to take out Cole and JP, he was not certain that they wouldn't just take out this old Indian fighter as well. Bull drafted up paperwork that made him the heir to Bart Jason, should anything happen, and, well, convinced his original plan would work, and knowing that this would be the only way to gain Bull's full cooperation, he relented. Shortly after the Battle of El Dorado, Bull presented the paperwork to the marshal and had it declared legit. Now owner of Bart Jason's vast empire, he no longer needed to seek the end of our heroes. Cole was already dead. JP, though treating Bull horribly during his drunkenness, truly seen past that. Maudie was always a friend to him, and trading her the Just Saloon for a free pass to blow his bugle with the working girls anytime he wanted, he was happy. Mississippi he had taken quite a quick liking to, and as for the McDonald's, well, the land war was not going to continue under Bull's watch. Even after making him watch them shop for hours that one day, he still wouldn't hurt the McDonald's. After all, what no one else knew was that Saul McDonald was actually his. The bartender and the piano player. Well, after losing his hand to infection from the splinter shot into it by JP, the bartender fell into a deep depression. He finds comfort in the piano player, going through a similar loss of his beloved piano. They grow closer and closer as they continue to work nights as the bartender and piano man at the now just brothel. Maudie felt bad for what they had gone through and didn't want to get rid of him. Eventually, one of them confesses to the other his feelings, and he's amazed to find that they are shared. Growing up in the time and place that they are, they drink away their sorrows until one night they accidentally let slip their feelings to Maudie. Maudie reminds them of the accidental wedding proceeding that Cole, Mississippi went through during their deputization, and with precedents being set, they asked JP to do the honors, and they lived happily ever after. Well, until the plague. And me? I went on to host a world-famous Western minute-by-minute podcast and go down in history as one of the best in Western folklore. The end. Hey, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I still have my eyes set on doing a watch-along of the movie. And then I actually want to go back into the past. I would like to, after that, go and do a watch-along of our two previous movies. Support Your Local Sheriff and The Quick and the Dead. Just for funsies, just for some extra content for you guys to kind of listen to catch up on the movies, because I've not actually watched the movies since doing the podcast on them. You tend to get a little bit burned out of these when you go over them in such detail and have to watch them so many times. But definitely want to go back and revisit those. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know it's been a while since I put anything out. I apologized in my previous one. Just some things in life, catching up, and not having a whole lot of time to do so. I am still working on what I'm going to be doing for season 4. I hope to have an announcement for that fairly soon and begin working on that. I am still frantically trying to get the Just a Damn Minute up off the ground and all of our guests recorded so that we can start going over our beloved movie Bloodsport, and then still trying to pin down a time where both me and Shizzy can record some stuff for the RTS random reviews. So the stuff is still in the workings. It's not going to be every week, guys. I'm sorry. I hope to sometime very soon get back to that schedule. But just with everything that's going on with work and life and the house and kids and just life in general, that's just not going to happen right now. So I'll be sending out these hiatus episodes as I make them. I'm going to try to make them as often as possible, but please just stick around. Keep that subscribe button hit, and as soon as it drops, it'll fall into your feed, and hopefully we'll both be happy with that. But until then, as always, everybody, I love you. I miss you. I love doing this and putting some soothing dulcet tones into your ear holes, to which I will hopefully be doing again very soon. But until then, love you guys. Please continue. Support your local podcast.
And when his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim shadow. Shadow, said he, where can it be? This land called El Dorado. Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow. Ride, boldly ride, the shade replied. You search for El Dorado,